Good morning, everybody. This is April at the Resellers Learning Curve. Happy Thursday. Today's Thursday. I hope everybody is having a spectacular week. I'm having a good week. And I say a good week because my my business, my sales have been really good, really strong. More notable, more exceptional on Amazon. Oddly, because I haven't listed anything new on Amazon or done anything differently, but I've just been selling a lot of stuff on Amazon. So I've had a good week in that sense. On the other hand, and I share this because I think that there are people that will be able to relate. On the other hand, I've had a bad week in the sense that I've had significant health issues for a little while now. I have an autoimmune disease called sarcoidosis. Most doctors, professionals, people who have it refer to it as sarcoid because everyone knows what that is, but it's an autoimmune and it's very, very frustrating. It can be a very frustrating illness to have. Usually when I have issues with it, it affects my lungs. This time has been completely different. The organ most affected this time around has been my skin. And I'm not going to say I'm a vain person, but I do make an effort to keep up my outward appearance. So having these issues has been challenging. So I've been doing all sorts of medical tests this week, from blood tests to x-rays to consulting with my doctor to picking up prescriptions to just feeling tired and drained and sick. So if you find yourself in a situation where you feel physically like it's too much, I get it. This week has felt like that. And despite all of that, I've continued to work. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I have continued to work way more than I probably should, to be honest. And the reason that I think I'm working so much is because I have a lot of trouble sleeping. And if I'm going to be up, might as well work. So on that note, one thing that seemed to be a popular idea from the last video that I posted was the suggestion of a listing challenge. People seem to be really interested, so we're going to move forward with the Friday to Friday listing challenge. I don't know. So yes, we are going to do a listing challenge. It's going to go from Friday to Friday. I meant to start this a week ago. It would have been super awesome, but that didn't happen. So we are going to do from June the 8th, which is tomorrow, through June the 15th. Here's the listing challenge. Here are the details. So in the Facebook group, and I really think in order to get the most out of this listing challenge to really be held accountable, I think that it's important for you to participate in the Facebook group. And the reason I think it's important for you to participate in the Facebook group is because one of my lovely members in the group has created, and has done this for quite some time for all of the listing challenges, has created a spreadsheet. It's actually, I want to say, a Google Doc. It's a Google Doc spreadsheet. And in the spreadsheet, you will state your goal, what your goal is for the week. So it's Friday to Friday. I want you guys to come up with your goal. I don't want to give a goal, but I will share what my goal is going to be for the next week. So on the spreadsheet, whatever your goal is, you put that number in. And every day you keep track of how many items you list per day. And I know for me, that's really helpful because it usually shows me how wildly my levels of productivity fluctuate. Like, all over the place. I have days where I don't list anything, and then I have days where I might list 17 items. And that's around working a job and 2 kids and all the other things that I do. So the spreadsheet has always been useful for me in the sense that it will show you where you can improve as far as your consistency. And I'm telling you guys, if you can get a little bit of consistency in this thing, it's going to help you out a ton. So from Friday to Friday, starting tomorrow, June the 8th, decide what your goal is going to be, and I would like you to add your name and your goal to the spreadsheet, which will be available in the Resellers Learning Curve Facebook group tomorrow. So my goal for the week is going to be 50 items. 50 items. 50. I would like for the items to be from your death pile for this listing challenge. This is a death pile listing challenge. And the number one reason that I am saying that is because my hope is that people can see the ways that they can generate income without necessarily having to output money. So yes, pick items from your death pile. Don't go out and buy new items. Pick items from your death pile. Need not go out and buy anything new. If you don't have anything on hand, I challenge you to source items that are outside of your comfort zone, source items that are outside of your niche. The whole point to all of this is really to challenge ourselves in some way so that we then are moving forward in some way. So if you have items on hand, you can list those. Death pile, the death pile listing challenge. If you don't, then please try to source something completely different than what you would normally source, just to challenge yourself, stretch, grow, learn. I am going to pick a specific category or type of item. For me, I thought about this, and honestly, there's 3 or 4 different categories of items that I could choose and do this listing challenge. I don't know if I would have 50, but there's a couple of different categories where I would absolutely have 50 items. One of those categories where I could list 50 items that I don't have to go out and buy anything new is jewelry. I have so much jewelry. I have stacks of jewelry and bags of jewelry and piles of jewelry, and I have bags of earrings, bags of necklaces, bags of sterling silver, bags of scrap gold. Like, I could definitely list 50 jewelry items without buying anything new. But that's not what I'm going to do, because I'm going to challenge myself. My eyes are super, super red. My allergies are terrible this season. I'm going to challenge myself in something different, and I'm going to list something that I have been picking up for months and months and months and absolutely never listed. And that thing is vintage night clothing, vintage gowns, vintage robes. I got terry cloth vintage robes. I got chenille vintage robes. I have the polyester satin vintage robes. I have so much vintage. I guess, I mean, I just say night clothing. It's just, yeah, pajamas, vintage pajamas. That's my category. So between tomorrow and the 15th of June, I have to list 50 items of vintage PJs. That doesn't sound fun. But you know what? Here's the best part of this. So, like I said, I've bought these forever. I do get them listed. Sometimes I have sold vintage night clothing, but I've never, ever gotten them listed in nearly the quantity that I purchased them. And the reason is because these are the sort of things that are usually really, really cheap. Like if I find a vintage nightgown and say Salvation Army, it's $1.99. It's $1.99. And some of these things, some of them go for 30, 40, 70, 80 bucks. Depending on what you're looking at. So that is why I am picking the vintage pajamas category, because I know I have the items on hand. I know some of them are valuable. I don't know which ones. Having this week time frame, I believe, is going to really narrow you down and focus you, and it's going to provide you super, super, super valuable feedback, super valuable raw data, which is, it's going to be useful. It's going to be useful. So a week from now, on the 15th, so a week from tomorrow, on the 15th, I'll have those 50 items listed, and we all have until midnight midnight on Friday. So midnight on the 15th. And on the 16th, on that Saturday in the group, I think this is my goal. This is next Saturday. I'm kind of sort of tentatively trying to plan a mini vacation for next Saturday. But in case that doesn't work out, and even if it does, next Saturday, I would like to start a discussion in the Resellers Learning Curve Facebook group about the results of the listing challenge. Not only will we just start a discussion about the listing challenge, but I'll create a video to talk about what happened with my vintage pajamas that I'm going to list 50 of between tomorrow and next Friday. So let me make sure that everything, Friday to Friday listing challenge, pick something from your death pile. You don't need to go buy anything new. A specific category or an item type, zone in, because this is going to provide you super useful feedback, super useful raw data. I'm doing vintage pajamas. If you don't have a death pile and you're going out and you're buying things, pick a category that you are less than comfortable with. Something that you can do the research, but it's not something you've sold a lot. Just pick an area where it allows you room to blossom into the wonderful reselling flower that you are. My goal is to list 50 items of vintage pajamas. There will be a Google Doc in the Resellers Learning Curve Facebook group. And I ask if you're participating to join the group, put your name on the doc, which will be available tomorrow, and we will hold each other accountable. And finally, I wanted to mention two other things that are on the document that I love. Is there used to be a column. I don't know if the member is going to keep it the same or change it a bit, because that's up to them. There was a column asking, what did you list? So I'm really liking that idea, because I'm absolutely going to use that column to mention that all I'm listing is vintage pajamas. And it's just going to be funny, because every time I log in to update the spreadsheet, I'm going to be vintage pajamas, vintage pajamas, vintage pajamas. But that's what I'm going to do for the next week. And I think this is the most important part. If you reach your goal, and your goal is the number of items listed, so whatever that number is that you state tomorrow, if you reach your goal, I think it's really super majorly important that you decide on a reward for yourself. Something. It doesn't have to be something that you buy, although as resellers, we always see things. I always see things that I want to buy. I try not to buy myself a lot of stuff, because there's stuff everywhere. But if I reach my goal, I would like to treat myself to a long overdue pedicure, because I have not had one all summer. And I would like to treat myself to a really nice eyebrow arching job at Ulta, somewhere fancy. And Ulta always makes me feel like a fancy woman. On that note, I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you will join me in the listing challenge, and I absolutely look forward to hearing the results of everybody's hard work. So I'll talk to you soon. Get out there, let's get it done, and let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you would like to see on this channel. Have a good day. Bye.